Hey guys, today we are making smothered pork chops with cabbage that I'm also going to be adding some collards to my cabbage. This is what we're going to need. I'm also doing some fried potatoes and onion, and I'm going to have some bacon. Hey, let's get going. Let's get this cabbage cleaned up. Then we're going to get the greens cut up as well. So let me get the cabbage cleaned and rinsed off really well. I'll be back. Alrighty, so I got the greens. I got pulled out that middle section. And I'm just gonna roll these up and slice them thinly. I'll be back. There you go. That's the way I want them, in thin little strips. And then we're gonna get these rinsed and cleaned as well. So they get drained. All right, here's all my seasonings I'll be using for everything. Lipton onion soup mix, garlic and herb, Montreal, Ola seasoning, which is awesome, black pepper, chicken bouillon, garlic powder, salt, and hay. I'm making them cornbread muffins. All right. Okay, I'm about to cut up this bacon, get it frying. There go my onions, green pepper, red pepper, and some minced garlic. Let's get it. Get this bacon nicely golden, crispy, I should say. I don't know where I got golden. I wish you wanted to be able to smell this bacon. Okay, so now I'm going to add the peppers and the onions. Not the garlic yet, not the garlic yet. Add that over in there. Let me get all up in there. All up in there. Oh, yeah. Okay, we almost got it where we want it. We're going to cook them until these vegetables are a little bit more translucent. A couple more minutes and we should be just where we want to be. Okay, so I added the minced garlic now because the veggies are done and you don't need but just a few minutes for this garlic. Maybe 3 minutes maybe. You know, you don't want to burn it, so that's why you put it in last. Okay. Then I'm going to go in with the greens. Dropping them. Put those greens. I'm going to put the collard greens in here first because collard greens take a little longer to cook. So I'm going to let these steam down just a minute. I'm going to put a top over them. Let them steam down and cook a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead on and add the cabbage. Okay. See how they done cooked down now a little bit? Got all that seasoning from the bacon and the peppers. You know, let me get you up close. You know I like to give y'all up close. Look at all the seasonings. Oh, yes. Yep. We are just about ready to add our cabbage in a little bit. I'm going to let this go just a few more minutes and we'll be back. All right, so let's add the cabbage now. Cabbage up in there. I'm going to pour the rest in, but it might get ugly and I don't want you to see it. Be right back. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead on and add the seasonings. Just throw them boys up in there. Along with the seasonings. I normally add bacon grease if I don't use the bacon, but this Lipton onion soup mix is going to bring it to life. It's going to bring it to life. That's all I got to say. Now you just turn this stuff up in here and get everything incorporated. Dig down in there and get your green. See, there they go. They under there. Get your seasonings up in there. Smelling good. Look at the greens. Look at the greens. Bringing all that nice color and flavor. Alrighty. So I'm going to finish getting that incorporated. Now I'm going to add a little water. I'm adding water because I added chicken broth. Okay. I added chicken broth. So when I add the chicken broth, I normally don't do, the chicken powder. You know what I'm talking about. So I don't do them both normally. So I just added the water because I put the chicken bouillon in there. And we just gonna let this simmer and cook and boil. And we'll be back when it's almost done. I'll taste it then and see if it needs any more seasoning, but we'll let it cook for now. Be back. It is doing its thing. It's not near done, but it's doing its thing. All the flavors is smelling really good up in here right now. That's all I know. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we'll be back with the cabbage when it's done. Okay, so it's now time to get the pork chop seasoned. And let me get my buttermilk. Did I forget? These are buttermilk fried pork chops. I'll be back. Okay, so we got the pork chop seasoned. And we got our buttermilk. Now, you don't want to put too much buttermilk. You just want to cover it so they can be, have the buttermilk on them. But you also want your flour to stick to the pork chops as well. So you don't want them too sloppy, too wet. Just to cover them so that buttermilk can saturate up in there real good. Now, all of them have some buttermilk on them, and it's not too much. All the seasonings is on every piece. Yep, I'm not going to put any more seasoning because I already got to make gravy, so you don't want to over season. That's plenty. So I'm going to let that sit there and chill and marinate while I get the grease heated up. I'll be back. The cabbage and greens are done. Ooh, that's good. I done tasted them. The seasonings are just right. Look at that bacon in there. Oh, you're going to get some flavor in here. There you go. They're done. Okay, so I got my flour, my cornstarch, and I put my Ola seasoning in here because I found that the Ola seasoning is it doesn't have a lot of sodium in it, and that comes from Lee TV. So get over there to Lee TV and get you some Ola seasoning, okay? Let me show it to you. Lee TV. There's some good stuff. This is really good. Okay, so I put my cornstarch in here with my flour, my seasoning, a little pepper, garlic powder, but that was it. And I'm just going to mix this up in here really good. I'm making a mess, but hey, it's part of being in the kitchen. Okay, now let me get my rack and I'll be back. All right, so what we're going to do is you got to get in with it with your hands, you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those cooks that, hey, you got to get in. Sometimes I'll get my gloves. Sometimes you just got to get in there with it. I do keep my bleach water on the side in my sink. Keep my hands done. Keep them clean. But you got to get in there. Make sure every piece of this pork chop is coated. And then I just lay them right over here on the rack so it can adhere. Yeah, the buttermilk is going to definitely do a good job with it adhering to the pork chop and giving it some good flavor and juiciness. So if you have never cooked your pork chops with buttermilk, I highly suggest you give it a try. Hey, if you don't like it, all you can do is go back to what you normally do, right? That's it. No harm, no foul. All right, I'm going to finish these up. You don't need to see me do all of them. And we'll be back. Okay, so now they all coated. I'm going to let that sit in it here while I get the onions and peppers ready to make the gravy. Alrighty, let's see if the grease hot. Oh, yep, it's hot. Always make sure your grease is hot. So we're going to get those fried, and we're going to get all the pork chops fried. And here you go. I really don't like these tongs, but I still use them for some reason. I don't know. Bam! Look at that golden. Oh, yes. Golden. I wanted to add that you don't want to cook your pork chops all the way when you're doing a gravy because they're going to cook more. So you cook them almost done, but not totally, you know, because that gravy is going to have them cooking more as well. So they're doing pretty good right now. Okay, I got my second batch of pork chops. Let me tell you right now, y'all see this right here? That is what's going to make some good gravy right there. So you just stay right here. You ain't gonna miss that. You don't want to miss it. That's what you're gonna need right there. That goodness. But here is the first batch. All right. All right, so remember when I told you were going to need this right here? Well, here it go. I poured some of the oil off, but I left some because that is what we're going to cook our vegetables in. Okay. We're going to get these cooked down. Now, everybody do their gravy different, so just remember that when you see people doing recipes, it's just, you know, everybody do something a little different, so that doesn't mean it doesn't taste good. So we're going to let these go ahead on and cook down, and we're going to move to the next step. Okay, so they're still pretty crisp, but that's how I want them because they're going to simmer later, so you don't need them all the way done. We're going to go ahead on and add our flour. You add as much flour as you think you need. I like a lot of gravy, so I like a lot of flour, you know. Sorry about my hand. Apologize for that. Okay. Now, I don't have any chicken broth, so I'm using water today. Some people use milk. It's just your preference once again. But remember to stir. When you're dealing with gravy, look at my pot. It's vital that you remember stirring is something that you have to continue to do with gravy. Just keep stirring. Keep stirring. Have your heat on like a medium high. Keep adding till you get to the consistency that you want, whether it be, you know, your water, your chicken broth, or your your milk or whatever you use. And it is smelling so good in here. Let me get it still pretty thick. Yes. Still pretty thick. Now what I'll do is add a little salt maybe. Only put salt and pepper in my gravy. I think everything else you pretty much take the flavor away. I already got the peppers in there and whatnot, so. Now some people like a light gravy. Some people like a dark gravy. What you like? Light or dark gravy? It may look like I'm adding a lot of water, but the flour is going to thicken. It's going to continue to thicken, you know, as it boils. But that's why I put a lot of flour. And I may not need to even put any more salt and pepper. I might put just a little bit of salt, but no pepper. I changed my mind that quick because once I put these pork chops up in here, once we put the pork chops in here, their seasoning is gonna share itself with the gravy, if you will. You know? So I'm gonna let this do its thing for a minute, and I'll be back when it's time to put the pork chops. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little of this browning seasoning. Not too much, because a little goes a long way with this stuff. Shoot, that might have been too much right there. A little goes a long way. You see it coming? You know? Boom, boom. That's looking pretty good right there, but I'm gonna add just a little more browning. Just a little bit now. That's definitely it right there. That's definitely it right there. Now what you do is, what you do is, you just put your pork chops right down up in there. You can layer them. Just get them in that gravy. Don't worry about it not covering the pork chops right now. That's not important. We just want these to simmer down up in here real good into this gravy. This last pork chop working my nerve. Okay. There you go. Okay. I'm not gonna bother it. I'm gonna let it do its thing right now, even with the pork chops not covered. I'm gonna just let it simmer, do its thing, and we'll be back. I forgot to add cover. Okay, well, unfortunately, I don't have a lid to go to this cast iron skillet, so you have to do what you have to do. Boop, lid. Cornbread muffins going in the oven. They're simmering really slow, just like I like them. But I am gonna go in and just get his gravy just a little taste, just to see. Yep. Good. All right. Let me start here. And there you go. Smothered pork chops and gravy. This is gonna be good. You must make you some smothered pork chops and gravy. Okay, we're gonna plate up, shall we? Muffins are done. Ooh, they smell good too. Ain't nothing but some Jiffy. Then they little Halloween muffin cake, wraps. That is so cute. I just had to show you guys. They are gorgeous though, aren't they? Ooh. Alrighty. Let's get plated. do is I just get a little bit of gravy, put it right on top. Yeah, that's an ice cream scoop. What difference does it make? Whatever gets the job done, you know? Yes. Let's get that cabbage. Okay. Get this cabbage on deck. I just wish you could smell it. I really do. This is some good stuff. Them greens in there with that cabbage. Let me get a little more. Then what you do is you put that little, see that right there? Put that right there. Hold on. Put that right there. Get some of that green juice. Put that green juice right there. Then you get this cornbread. Stick it to the side, son, but it's okay. Because all I'm going to do is stick that right down in there. So we can sop up that goodness. Oh, yeah. And there you have it. Smothered pork chops with greens and cabbage and cornbread muffins. I hope you all enjoy watching, because I'm enjoy eating. You all have a blessed day. Bye. I'm busy and you ain't got nothing to do. Come check out MRTV and Mr. Queen.
Cowboy satisfaction, that is.
See ya. We appreciate you guys. And what